Hello, it's Richard from Sightsolutions. Welcome to this module on graphics. So in the N4 training, you're going to be doing a couple of graphic labs. So what I've tried to do is incorporate the things that you do in each one. I've tried to incorporate it all into one lab, one video, sorry. So what it asks you to do a lot of the time is go into your user home when you're doing the labs, and there's a folder called class lab N4, and it will ask you to keep going in there and grabbing things and put them onto your station. So one thing is all these kit px N4 SVGs folders. So you have to copy the folders underneath the kit px N4 SVG folder, because you've already got you're already going to have some on your station already. But you must make sure that you paste them in the right place. So you go down to your station, find your files, px, kit px, SVGs, and paste them onto there. So that's the first thing you'll have to do. The next thing is to add some px pages that have been partially completed. So again, here they are, AHU and plant room. So copy those, right click on them, copy them, and paste those onto px. Okay, so now we've got some partially completed stuff, and I'm just going to be doing the AHU one, okay, which is our backnet points. So if I go to our backnet on our station on a remote host, and this is my device, and this is where I'm going to have to create a new view. Call it AHU and choose the HTML5 format or media, and then say OK. The thing is, what's going to happen is it's going to find this folder AHU that I've just put on there, and it's going to come up with this box saying, do you want to reuse it or overwrite it? We want to reuse it. So there's the partially completed graphic. When you go into edit, you'll see there's a lot of points on here already which are just not working for some reason. So we need to go and find out why they're not working. So if you go and choose an item that you can find it underneath your own device. So this is a supply fan. So if you copy this supply fan, ORD, and then open up Notepad, paste that ORD onto Notepad, and then go and find the same point underneath your own file system on your station, supply fan, and then just do a copy on there, and that's going to copy the ORD. Go back to your Notepad and paste that, and then you can see quite clearly now what the difference is. So the difference is the device, which is the one on the PX page is looking for AHU 142, and our device is called AHU backnet AX 05100005. So that's the only difference. So because we know that now, I can go into my the top of your bound ORDs. There's a replace icon there, and I've already done it here. I've already entered this, so that's what I'm going to be looking for. Here's the before and after, and I'm going to replace it with my device. So once you've done that and you've entered that text, you can check your after what's going to happen, and it will just populate all those dynamic images onto your PX page. The next thing we need to do is put some reads or some bound labels onto these items. So for example, your supply temperature, bring that on as a bound label. Use the out value format. You can give it a border, change the background color, do whatever you want to do with it really, and then put that onto your PX page as well. There is actually a right click to preferred size, and that will put it down as small as it can go, but obviously a bit tight. So once you've got it in a good size, you can then duplicate it, go down to your return temp, and then just change the ORD on there. and you'll carry on just putting all the labels on these points here. The next thing is going to be adding your heating and cooling set point, but you're going to be using a couple of things out of your kit PX palette. So if you drag the points on, you can drag them on together. Go to from palette and then kit PX, and there's two items here: bar graph and set point slider. And you're going to be asked to add both of these set points, but using both of these representations. So if you start off by bar graph, you can then you have to change the max scaling and your min scaling. So this is the scaling for your bar graph. Scaling will be 1. Change them to horizontal. Text, we can unanimate the text. Just leave that blank and then say OK. So what it's done is put both of them on here, so you should be able to manipulate both of these at the same time, size them up, get them a decent size, and then you can click on one and look down the bottom here. You can see which order is which. So this is my cooling set point, this is my heating set point. So that's it for the bar graph. Now if I bring them on again, this time as a set point slider, you have to make sure you have the same scaling in here, and make sure it's horizontal again. So now all you have to do is again check which one's which. This is my heating, this is my cooling one. You just have to make sure they're the same size as the bar graph, and then the needle should point up with the filled area in the bar graph. Okay, so that's good, that's done. And the last thing you're going to be asked to do, actually, when you do the plant room graphic, there is it wants you to do a reset using a button for your elapsed active time on your pumps. So what I've done is I've added some points onto my supply fan and my extract fan, my return fan, a discrete totalizer and some run hours. So all I've done is, if I show you this first so you can see what I've done there. So looking at the wire sheet of my supply fan, I've got discrete totalizer, and I've added a divide which is working out the milliseconds into hours. So we've got a divide module called run hours and a discrete totalizer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the discrete totalizer on for my supply fan, and I'm going to choose this time actions and choose reset elapsed active time. So by doing that, I've just created a button. When I double click on it, you can see it's an action binding and it's an image button with some text in it. But I want to change that because at the moment, like when we done the PX include for the alarms, it's all very good having a button that says alarms on it, but you only want to really press it if you when you know there's some alarms that need looking at. Well, this is the same thing really. We need to know how many hours have run before we reset it, rather than just clicking on it to reset it. So we need to add another binding to this property sheet for this widget. And to do that, you click on this button at the top and then choose value binding. So now we've got the value binding. Now I need to go and get to that the run hours, this divide module. So I can do that by going to component chooser, going down to wrong place, go to BATnet, go to device, go to the points, and then look for my supply fan, and then down in this list will be my run hours. So I want to get to the out slot, out value for my run hours. So okay, so I've got an ord there now, but that's the right ord, but it's still saying reset active time. So I can now animate. Now once I've got an ord, a value ord, I can then animate these slots. So if I just leave it like that, for just so you can see what happens once it's animated. So now it's coming up with the out slot, the out value. So I can now just go back and edit this this text string and change this to reset run hours, and then I usually just put these in brackets. So remember, anything outside these percentage marks is free text. And then you can resize this then accordingly. So if it's too wide, what you can do is, if I go back onto it and go to the text, there's a little command \n, lowercase n, and what that will do is create a new line. Okay, so and then it makes it just a little bit narrower, but obviously a bit taller. So now we can put that on there, any way you want to put it. So reset run hours. So now when I press on that, it should reset these, and it was coming up saying, "You sure?" So yes, that will go back to 0 run hours now. Okay, so that's doing in one module here on the video. Pretty much what you're going to be doing in two labs when you come and do the N4 training. Okay, so I hope this is useful. Please subscribe and like at the bottom, and I'll see you on the next one.